This edition of the Ridley Report is brought to you by mail-to-jail.com, something that rhymes with com.
Just for our listeners just tuning in, I went to jail last night, and another 7 people were arrested. Another one also went to jail because of a young lady who was enjoying a beer in the park in the afternoon. We didn't want them to kidnap her, and they were threatening her, and they were demanding that she give them personal information, identifying information, and she heroically was refusing to do that.
Threatening her?
Yep, and so they ended up taking her and forcing her toward the police vehicle, and I had made up my mind in advance before this date that the next time they kidnapped a peaceful person and I was there, that I was going to stand or sit in front of the
put America's largest freedom-oriented radio show on the line so that you can play.
Yeah, you know, I always hear this from you, Mark, and I appreciate where you're coming from on that. And I know there are listeners out there that don't want to hear me away from the show. Mama Allie from Savannah Last Biscuit was imploring me to not do this sort of thing. As much as she might respect it, she wants to hear me on the air as opposed to being in a jail cell. And I said, look, I appreciate that, but if I were to get on the air on this radio program and I were to say, yeah, you should do civil disobedience, and then not actually do any of it,
you should, but not me.
Right. What would that make me?
It would make you a person who has chosen media activism as their
that would
goal.
Make me a hypocrite.
It
would make me a loudmouth hypocrite. And if I want people to emulate this idea, if I want
how
people
many acts of civil disobedience do you have to do in order to have your civil disobedience merit badge so that you don't have to do it again?
I don't know, Mark.
Do you have to do a certain amount every year in order to keep the merit badge?
I think you're talking to a different group of people. I have this conversation, too, that there are folks in New Hampshire who might think that getting arrested or doing civil disobedience is a way to get your ropes or your merit badge or whatever it was that you call it. But to most of us, it's not fun being arrested, and it's not the goal. The goal is education and to open people's eyes and essentially make these people think.
But you heard what Ian said. Ian said that the reason that he does it is because he doesn't want to seem like a hypocrite.
Well, no, I do it because it's the right thing to do. But at the same time, my question to help justify it for you, because it was, what would I be if I said you should do these things and did not
I
set
explained
the
what you would be, and then you
it would make me a coward, and it would make me a hypocrite.
That's how you would feel. It doesn't make it true.
And I encouraged others to join me, and others did join me, and we had at least 4 people that were out there in front of the police vehicles and behind the police vehicles, making it difficult for them to exit, making their jobs more difficult, making the act of kidnapping that woman all the more hard for them to pull off.
Even that, the next time, I mean, there's the crossing the line of no return for these officers, and once they entered the square, that's pretty much where they were when they started giving the ultimatums to Heike. That's what they do, and when they start to do that, there's no going back. It's like the same way. So now the next time these officers are even called into the square, they might not even come because they know of the problem.
It'll be a big scene,
right? And they'd be like, and even like the one officer,
and they should have known that.
Well, sure, I'm sure they did, but I'm saying the one officer who's like, I really don't want to arrest you. I really wish I could have a beer in this park, but it's my job. He at that point, that's what he had to say. I'm saying next time, he was the one that took Smeg and Heike to jail or the police station, but that car was stuck there for the first 20 minutes-ish, about. They stuck you and somebody else in another car, right?
I don't know if it was that long, but it was certainly...
It felt a little longer.
My quick video was 14 minutes.
How many of the police officers in town were tied up at that point?
They had 5.
They usually have 3 cars or so running.
3 to 5.
Any given time.
They pretty much called everybody in.
They had everybody there. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, they didn't start with everybody.
For one complaint of one open container.
No, they didn't start with everybody. They started with 2 cops. And then when they got more trouble and then people started blocking the cars, that's when they called for the backup.
Exactly.
So there's more coming up here at 800-259-9231. Look, I don't want to go to jail, but I also, and it wouldn't be wrong of me to not step in front of the cars, but that's what I felt inspired to do.